Hello and welcome. My name is Myre, and this is the Gatac Railen. Is it Gatac? The Xi'An cargo ship Q&A. Let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, so, it says, following the concept release of the Gatac Railen, we took your community-voted questions to our designers to provide you with more information on the recently unveiled Xi'An cargo ship. Alright, so the current SCU system is based on rectangular dimensions. So how are the new triangular cargo pods of the Railen going to work? That's a really good question, actually. Will this new shape affect the physicalized inventory? So, the triangular cargo pods of the Railen are actually fixed to the ship and not cargo containers themselves. They open to fit the standardized cargo items inside. So they're triangles that fit squares inside them or rectangles inside them? That kind of sounds like wasted space, but if it looks cool, I guess it doesn't matter if the ship is big enough anyway. When I think about this, I also think about the mole, because, you know, like the Prospector has like these saddlebags and they have like a specific size to them. And then the mole also has saddlebags, but they're bigger. So when we get physicalized inventory and when we get the ability to reload these things, will that size discrepancy matter for like where you can put those things in? So the brochure says bespoke triangular cargo pods are made from high-grade materials in a unique shape to ensure freight remains safe. Will the Railen's cargo pods be more durable than those used on the Hull series? So, as the pods themselves are part of the ship, they provide some protection, unlike the Hull series where the pods themselves are open to the void. However, they offer nowhere near the protection of a fully enclosed cargo bay. So it's kind of like a midway point. It's actually kind of confusing to me because like before this Q&A, I assumed that, you know, those cargo pods of the Railen were like, you know, detachable and all that stuff and, you know, were just a weird funky shape for this kind of thing. But it turns out it's like a midway thing, so it's like a hull around your cargo, but it's not the same strength as if it was like, let's say, inside like a Hercules C2 or something. So it's like a midway thing. So if you are like within UEE space, you'd probably want to go ahead and use like a Hull series because it doesn't necessarily matter too much if your cargo is totally exposed. Whereas like, you know, if you're expecting some fire, maybe a Railen might be better. But, you know, like, if you're going into, like, really dangerous places, then, like, a Hercules or anything really with, like, an enclosed cargo space is going to be more necessary, because otherwise, if you take any fire, then your cargo is likely going to be the first thing to get hit. So, will it be possible to use the Railen's cargo pods at any cargo station? So, as standardized cargo units are contained within the pods, they are treated as normal by cargo stations. Okay. So, do the Railen shields cover the cargo pods? Yes, the shield system covers the pod area. I believe this is similar to how the Hull series is going to be done as well. The reason why this question is brought up probably is because things like the Kraken has like a, you know, like a runway where ships can land, but I don't think they've said that those ships will be covered by the capital ship shields. At least, you know, as far as they've said so far. Okay, so when is this ship planned to go into production? So we are putting this ship into production, or when we are putting this ship into production, you will see it on the RSI roadmap. So no sooner than like when we see on the roadmap. It might come up as maybe like a hidden thing, but you know, you will see unannounced ship on the roadmap if that's the case. So, could you tell us more about this ship's speed and maneuvering capabilities? As the Xi'An are known for their engines, will the Railen be fast and maneuverable for its size? So, for its size and role, the Railen is more agile than expected due to the Xi'An thruster technology and placement along with its transformation abilities. So, Xi'An ships are known for being able to like strafe and be faster laterally and stuff than other ships, so I think that'll likely be something this thing can do. Even though it's like a big cargo ship, it's probably not going to, you know, fly like a fighter, but it's probably still going to fly, you know, better than a Starfarer, for instance. So, what are shield emitters and what gameplay function will they have versus shield generators? So shield emitters will be an item on all ships where the shield is physically projected from. Typically, but not exclusively, one emitter covers one face of the shield system. Shield generators provide the shield resource to maintain the shield overall. So we're getting this capacitor system coming in. It seems like the shield emitter is then one step beyond the capacitor. So it says again, typically one emitter covers one face of the shield system, but I think I recall the Railen having only one emitter on the store page. I might be wrong here, but let me go ahead and look this up. Gatac Railen store page here. I'm probably wrong with this. I hope I am. So here's the store page. And so we have turrets, crew, missiles, cargo. And it looks like all the other information is probably going to be in the brochure. So I think the brochure we saw it a second ago. Secure yours. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Here it is. Read. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is a cool, like a digital brochure. I'm pretty sure it was here somewhere. Okay, so, and I can't zoom in, but it says there, so life support power plant, quantum drive shield generator. So it says it has 2 large shield generators. So is that to say that a ship of this size only has 2 shield faces? No, I'm dumb. It has 2 large shield generators, 1 large shield emitter. So is that to say that this thing only has 1 shield face? I'm not necessarily sure if they have their, you know, like have everything sorted with shields just yet. All right. So, could you tell us more about the ships? Yeah, so we've done that. So yeah, interesting one here, because we have a lot of conflicting information here. So, could you tell us how we would load the ship? How do we physically fill and load the cargo pods? So they are loaded like all other cargo ships by maneuvering the cargo into them by hand, tractor beam, or by hiring NPCs to load them for you. So currently in the PU, in the PTU, or whatever you want to call it, in the alpha, it's all automatic. You land, you press a button, and then like you wait a couple minutes, or no, even in fact, right now with cargo, it's instant. But how they want things to be in the future is it's all physicalized, and this is going to be coming in with a cargo refactor, and you'll have to wait for either NPCs working at the dock to fill up your ship, or you can go help them. I believe reputation can come into it as well. You can get more NPCs to help you out. You can choose how many NPCs are working to help load your ship. That'll make things go faster, but it'll cost you more. It'll be very interesting to see how it all works, you know, because yeah, it does seem like they're married to this idea of it not just being automatic, and even if it is, you'll see the NPCs doing stuff. So why should this ship why choose this ship over a Hull B or Freelancer Max? The Hull B carries more cargo for a lower price, and the Freelancer Max can carry rovers. So yeah, why? This was my question. So we never want to have a ship that is clearly superior in all ways in a similar area. So there are lots of pluses and minuses for each of these ships. The Hull B is the dedicated small crew cargo ship, and as such has a much lower capacity for onboard living for its 2 crew and favors cargo over firepower, which the Railen overcomes. The Max has the benefit of being able to carry vehicles, but the Railen has about twice the cargo capacity as the upside. So they talked here about the Hull B having lower living capabilities and stuff. Now, if the Hull B has less living capabilities than the Prospector, I'll be very confused or surprised. You know, like when they talk about like ships being able to be used for like long distances and stuff, they mean things like the ship doesn't have a bathroom, the ship doesn't have a shower, the ship doesn't have like a food mess hall or whatever, or like a you know, like a, what am I thinking of, like a fridge, because in the future your character will need these things in order to stay alive and to stay happy or whatever. But maybe it will do. I'm talking about the Hull B here, but it just won't be as good or as big and have as many bonuses as, say, the Railen, which basically kind of almost has like a Origin Jumpworks kind of luxury vibe to it. So, can the turrets be slaved to the pilot with blades? This question always comes up and they always give the same answer. So, like all turrets, we'll support slaving them to the pilot with the use of blades. However, they'll be locked forwards, so of relatively limited use. Solo players would be better hiring NPCs to man them for better coverage. And they've talked about this, like basically this tier of like how turrets will work. So at the very bottom, you'll have like a server blades, which can only fire forwards, and you know, like are just like a thing you insert into your computer stack, right? And then you have NPCs, which do everything a player can, but are limited to whatever like constraints they have. And then you have players which will be able to use the thing to like as well as they can. Of course, they're going to be like varying grades of server blade, varying grades of NPC, but also, you know, like not every player is going to be as good as like, you know, each other. So there's always that too. All right, so will it be able to pick up mining cargo pods from the Prospector and the Mole? So this is something that we kind of talked about earlier, with the fact that the Prospector and the Mole don't have standardized like saddlebags for mining. So it says here, so while not designed for this, given the tractor beam and cargo capacity, you'll be able to pick them up and transport them. Other ships are more suited to this role though. So again, when we finally get physicalized cargo in the big cargo refactor coming, I believe sometime this year, the way cargo works at the moment is going to be changed, right? So instead of you just going to a terminal and then a predetermined grid gets filled up with cargo, you'll have to do it, or an NPC will have to do it. And so because it's going to be physicalized, they're basically saying that you can just chuck something inside the pod and be done with it, and the ship will know and the game will know that the thing that you put in there is there. But it's not necessarily suited for it, and maybe perhaps won't be very space efficient. However, in the alpha, it doesn't matter. I want to fly my pretty alien ship, I can do it, and I can use it for mining operations. So yeah. The Railen has large, well-appointed living quarters. Can we expect it to be a long-range hauler? I believe so. Yes, so for its size and capacity, the crew has plenty of on-board facilities to facilitate long-range hauling. Like, it's basically what it's designed for. And that's it there in action, and those are those triangular like cargo pods which open up somehow, and then you can just chuck stuff inside it. So what will the tractor beam be used for? So tractor beams on cargo ships are primarily used to aid in the loading and unloading of cargo. So examples of this would be like, for instance, the Caterpillar, which has a tractor beam underslung under the bridge, but also on the starboard section, so you can get things into either side of the Caterpillar. I really can't wait for that one. I think there are turrets on this ship, but I can't necessarily see how you'd easily be able to tractor beam stuff in with this ship compared to, let's say, with a Caterpillar, which is there on the far side there. Then again, this ship does transform, so maybe in the transform state, it'll be easier to tractor stuff into the right positions. So what happens to the ship's gravlev, anti-gravity, and fast-build consoles and systems when the power goes out? Does it all just fall apart like Rayman? I don't think Rayman falls apart, but it does not fall apart. All the systems return to a default state and become inoperable until power is restored. So they kind of talked about this with the gravlev before, with the Nox and with the Dragonfly, and essentially it's not a power dependent thing to gravlev. Like it's I forget exactly how they've described it, but basically if you run out of power, then a gravlev item will still maintain its relative like levitation. So is it all designed to carry a vehicle, is it at all designed to carry a vehicle, even a rock or a ranger? So it's not designed to accommodate a vehicle in a specific area. However, I'm sure players will find creative ways to get them on board like other ships. I mean, maybe perhaps you could kind of cheese it onto that ramp, but otherwise, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So, can the Railen enter VTOL separately from landing mode, or are they linked as part of the transformation? So in the concept, the engines rotate for VTOL as part of the landing mode. But as we enter production, we'll evaluate whether we can independently rotate the engines for VTOL without transformation and keep enough force to remain maneuverable. So it's still in the works. Kind of like how, in many ways, the Reliance series is still in the works when it comes to what is, like, good for it. I think the biggest issue with these transforming ships is that, like, the landing gear themselves kind of gets in the way of the transformed state, and there aren't really enough buttons, you know, like, for those transformed ships to do their thing properly. Alright, so that's that for the Gatac Railen Q&A. Tell me what you guys think. I mean, it seems like an interesting ship. I'm not necessarily convinced myself. It just, you know, it's like a midway ship between, like, again, the Hull series and its exposed cargo, but double the amount of cargo, more or less, and the, you know, like, more closed-off ships like the Hull, not the Hull series, I just mentioned that, but the Freelancer series and, like, the Hercules. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's an alien ship and all that, so that's one big reason to like it, I'm sure. But yeah, we'll likely post this onto YouTube, so if you're watching it there, then please do leave your comments, because that always helps. Feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one for either a Q&A. I think the next thing coming up will likely be ISC. So until then, as always, be good.